Hey Stampers, I am Meg from LovenStamps, and today's video tutorial has a lot of moving parts, which is why I'm like 5 minutes late. I apologize, but I'm really excited about it actually. It's kind of near and dear to my heart. So we're gonna make a photo Christmas ornament today. And this is a sort of a DIY photo Christmas ornament idea, which is a great gift if you have a special picture that you want to share with someone. When we were putting our Christmas tree ornaments up, and I know many of you guys do the same thing, so you have like little stories about each of the ornaments that goes up on the tree and little like memories, and you think, oh, when you put those up. So anyway, I thought it would be really fun to make a photo Christmas ornament. We have some from when the kids were like preschoolers, so the little tiny pictures with like felt rickrack around them and stuff. But this one would be a recent photo. And so this past weekend, my daughter performed with the madrigal choir at her high school. So I have some photos from that, which were photo credited in the link video description to the fabulous Matt Difanis, who's a realtor in our community, but also a parent, and shares his photography skills by sharing photos of things he takes around town. So thank you to Matt for the amazing photos for this project. Okay, so good morning, everybody. Maria and Deborah and Nancy and Elaine and Tanya and Sally and Trish and Deborah and all the people whose names haven't showed up. So hi, guys. I know it's like the romper room part of our show, right? Okay, so there are, like I said, a lot of moving parts to this. But what I really wanted to do was make the most of the photo. So bring out the colors in the photo, sort of bring out the theme of the photo, die cut the photo so that it's got this fabulous frame around it. So I'm gonna start off by showing you the photo. So this is one of my daughter, and I'm gonna show you a whole separate ornament of like kind of a troop of them also. Hi, Kate. And so what I did was I die cut this with the Stitch So Sweetly frames here, which are a really great way to add a fun frame to something because it has that great scallop edging to it, okay? So I actually have 2 copies of the photo, there we go, because we're going to make our ornament double-sided. I don't know about you, but I'm always putting ornaments on the tree and I hang them and then they flip around and then they're like on the back side and so we're making our own. Why wouldn't we just fix that problem? All right, so we're gonna use that. We are going to use the Pinecone dies and the fabulous Christmas to Remember stamp set, which I told you is my favorite greeting set this season. And we are going to use the Simply Elegant Designer Series paper, which is available right now. It is on low inventory, so it may sell out kind of quickly. And I'm gonna tell you that when I first started looking at this paper, I was really having trouble using it because it's a mix of vanilla, it's a mix of white, it doesn't have a lot of like color personality, which is great if you want kind of neutral, but I really wanted to bring out the color in our photo. And so just like other black and white or metallic foiled papers, we can make this custom color to match our project. So I'm gonna show you how to do that. We're gonna get some Stampin' Blends in here and get some great pieces just going. We're also gonna do kind of a cool fan fold. We have a lot of moving parts. So you guys ready to get started? I'm gonna flip our camera down this direction and pop you guys on my workspace so that, here we go, we can get started. Oh yeah, we're like way off camera this morning. Okay, so first of all, do you guys have fabulous photo memories that you put up on your tree each year? Let's see, this is like an awkward spot, so I'm gonna move you guys. Okay, fabulous photo pictures, just fabulous ornaments, like salt dough ornaments that people from special people in your life made when they were in preschool and so forth, all those kinds of things. So I think I mentioned that this is the Stitch So Sweetly dies, and the link will be in the video description for all the supplies on this project. So if you're looking for any specific things, I'll add that after I'm done here. But these are a great tool that I use regularly. And so we're gonna bring in Bermuda Bay, but Bermuda Bay is not quite the right color for this photo. So I am also gonna bring in Pacific Point, which is also not quite the right color, but between the two of them, I think we're gonna get a pretty great approximation. And this is where your blending brushes come in. So when you're using blending brushes, you're going to swirl on the pad, and then you're going to swirl on your paper, okay? So pick up some ink, swirl a couple times. I used to have a thing that I said, oh gosh, what was it? Does anybody remember? I can't remember. Swirl or swish, or I said something else now and I can't remember it. So you can see, I'm gonna put Bermuda Bay down as sort of our foundation layer, and you'll see the paper picking up the ink and the metallic shining through. And this is actually like a great approximation of the dress. It's blue or sort of teal with gold kind of trim and highlights and stuff. So, all right. And Matt really does take amazing photos. We all super appreciate him being willing to share those with us. So, all right. So then I'm going to take some Pacific Point and mix it in. And you'll notice that I just kind of go directly to the next color without worrying about it. The blending brush really deposits most of its color on the paper when you do this swirl. Swirl, that's what I call it, swirl. When you do this swirl, it really deposits most of the ink. So you don't need to fret too much about going on to another color. I might not go from like blue to yellow without swiping it out a little more. But when you're going sort of to a darker color, it's no big deal, especially one in the same color family like Pacific Point and Bermuda Bay. So when you get these, they come 3 to a package, and I usually kind of keep one for blues and one for greens and one for reds. So they're super handy. If you don't have blending brushes yet, they make an amazing stocking stuffer. And who says you can't put stuff in your own stocking? All right, so I am going to unblue my fingers just a little bit. I love my Stampin' Scrub for that. I just keep mine in a stamp case, which you can get separately, but then I can just sort of blot the extra ink off my fingers. So they're still a little blue. I'll have to actually wash them, but at least they're not gonna come off on my projects. So, all right, so I'm gonna get rid of these. Let's see. Oh yeah, Elaine says she loves photo ornaments. Sue says she likes inking the paper. Yep. Now with the gold foil on here, I'm gonna go back with just a tissue and just rub a little extra off. The blending brush does a pretty good job, but what this is doing is it's picking up the ink that won't set in on the gold because the gold is foiled. So I just wanna get rid of some of that surface ink, okay? All right, so now we have our fabulous paper here ready to go. Now, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna have our ornament kind of like this. Our paper is gonna be under it. I'm gonna show you our embellishments, but let's talk a little bit more about this paper here. Sometimes, you know, a flat photo is fine, but there's so much texture and movement in the way like these sleeves hang and all this kind of stuff. And this dress actually was made for her by the fabulous Katie McHugh. So thank you, Katie. She's worn it for all of her high school madrigal career here, so it's lasted a long time. And will probably last for many, many more years. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring in our Stampin' Score, Simply Scored board, and I know it's upside down for you guys, but the measurements don't really matter. Now, a lot of times when you score these things, you do every 1/2 inch. That seemed a little bit big, a little bit too sort of large grained for the fineness of our photo, but 1/4 inch is really a little too small for me. So I decided to go with 3/8, which means that I'm kind of doing math as we go. I'm just counting 1, 2, 3 each time. And if you miss one, which I can tell you I did on my sample, it doesn't really show. Like if you accidentally do one as 1/2 inch, or something like that, so don't fret about it too much. Now, if you were doing multiples of this, I would go ahead and score them all at the same time, so that you're being super efficient. Like I would just score all the way down the whole paper and then trim it into strips, okay? Let's see. Elaine, what kind of photo ornaments do you guys love? Are they ones of like family members or events, or what? What are your favorite photo ornaments? Actually, I love to hear about everybody's favorite ornaments. So yeah, so you can leave a comment with your favorite photo or your favorite ornaments, your favorite Christmas tree ornaments, the ones that are special to you. We kind of have a tradition of getting them when we travel so that we have like some fun travel memories too. So special places. All right, so we have our paper here, and what we're gonna do now is just do a zigzag fold. So we're gonna just fold back and forth here on all of those score lines. And I am now in love with the Simply Elegant Designer Series paper. It is from the annual catalog, so if it does go out of stock here shortly because it's on low inventory, you can't order it while it's out of stock, but it will be back for sure because it is going to be available through the end of May, so into the beginning of June. Okay, so now we have this super fabulous texture here that really reflects more of our dress and our whole theme here, okay? See, like this. So now we need to add some fun embellishments to this. And so for our embellishments, we are going to use the Pinecone dies. And these are in a bundle with the Christmas to Remember stamp set. Oh, they're called Christmas Pinecone Dies there, Christmas Pinecone Dies. And they come not only with the fabulous greenery, but also with a full set of duplicate pine cones. And I know you guys have heard me say before that I adore when there are multiples of the same die, because if I'm making a project and I want to use more than one, I can just die cut at one time. I don't have to, you know, go back over and over and do them all separately. So let's see. So we're going to die cut this. Now I will say, I thought at first like, oh, it would be so pretty to do this with the gold veining, like from the Inked Expressions Designer Series paper. So here's how that came out. It was really, really busy. So I decided to backpedal on that. It is kind of cool. It's just kind of hard to look at and a lot with our photo. So I backpedaled and cut them from shaded spruce cardstock instead. So here is the shaded spruce. So here's the background one. I don't know what piece this is. We'll pretend it's there. And there's the front. And the great thing about this is that it's such a large die that you often don't need the whole thing at once. You could use it as like a background layer, but that actually that's kind of pretty, but we're not doing that. So certainly you could do that. We're gonna go ahead and use it in pieces. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim some pieces of this off. And then we need some of these dies. So I'm gonna grab a strip of gold foil paper here and go ahead and pop some of these on and die cut them. And let's see, I'm gonna just drop over here and do this. Elaine says photos from, oh yeah, photos from vacations and family events. Always fun. Just kind of nice to decorate your tree with some things that are special and memories and so forth. So, all right. So bringing this back, I've got my photo tool. Now this die is pretty detailed, so you might need to run it through more than once, although these I just ran through once and seems like they're gonna do great. Let's see here. I like to leave my pieces inside the die if they stay in there, and then I just run my tool through the top of the die and get those pieces out. Does that make sense? So I'm just gonna leave this one in here, just run this. This is the brush tip adapter, die brush tip adapter, which is a screw-on thing for your take your pick tool. So it takes the place of the putty. So I actually like having an extra take your pick tool, so I just leave mine on all the time. All right, so there are our pinecone pieces. So let's get our dies and our stray scraps out of the way and come back to our project here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and layer these first, and I'm gonna use my multi-purpose liquid glue. Now you could also, let's see, I used adhesive sheets the other day. Was that like just yesterday or Monday, I guess? That was Monday. I used the adhesive sheets and used those on felt. So the adhesive sheets would be a great thing to use here too, which I didn't have handy, so we're not using them right now. And I'm gonna pop this on here. One thing to think about, if you have it a little bit gluier than you wanted, drop your silicone craft sheet on top of that. The silicone craft sheet is a great thing to have on hand, especially when we're doing hot glue, which we will be doing here shortly. I know Stampin' Up! Doesn't have hot glue, but sometimes it's for bulky items the best way to go. So hands down, best choice for this. All right, so there's our first pine cone. There's our second pine cone. I think I have one that's gluey dry already. There we go. All right. So let's look at starting to put this element together. So what I want to do is I want to have our fan fold piece here go underneath. And then we're going to go, oh, I didn't glue this yet. We're going to go ahead, I'm going to just pop some glue on here and some glue on here and maybe a little glue on here. So this is the top layer of our element. And I'm not going to worry about gluing all of it. I kind of like it when it doesn't always stick down like hard all the way down. I like it when it's got some extra layering and motion and stuff just from the elements being layered on top of each other, but not completely attached. Here, I'll show you what I mean for there. See how these kind of, it just looks a little extra dimensional and kind of a cool effect there. So get rid of some of that extra glue. All right, so we're gonna have that here, and I think we're not gonna use this whole piece all at once. I'm gonna trim here, kind of where these branches come together, and this is actually a part to take out. And let's see, I want this part on it. And that's where those come together. So again, really nice when you have some elements where you can kind of mix and match and use the pieces, let's see, cutting some stray ends there. Use the pieces together or cut them apart and use like sections of it. So here's gonna be kind of our idea here, all right? Now, the tips for putting this ornament together. First of all, our photos, you don't want to hot glue your photo. You want to give it a back. And so what I've done is I've cut just a little piece of chipboard, and I almost never use this end, but I'm going to tap my glue down because the back end of our liquid glue here has a sort of a squeegee tip. And so that is perfect for this. And thinking ahead, we need like a ribbon attachment for this. So I'm gonna bring in our fabulous gold ribbon here. This is the gold shimmer ribbon, which I love. And I'm gonna pop one side of it here on like this, okay? And then we're gonna put this on our, make sure I have the top. I didn't, so it's a good thing we checked. I'm gonna pop this on the back. So I just cut this, I think it's 3 3/4 by 2.5 maybe, so that it fits just inside the score line on the photo. And I love the way that score line gives an extra little treat there. Let's see, and Sue says she has photos of, her special puppies, Molly and Moses. I love that. Fun memories, right? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and kind of eye this one more time. So we're kind of coming together. So let's go ahead and put our fan fold here on the back. And like I said, I really love having a silicone craft sheet handy when I'm using hot glue. I don't know about you guys, I tend to get it everywhere. And so I'm gonna go ahead and pop, I think, glue here on the back of our ornaments. And I know I'm kind of a cruddy glue gun. You'd think I'd have a nicer one, but I'm gonna pop a ton of glue on here. I'm just gonna pull it on, whoa, not there. Okay, and then I'm gonna act kind of quickly. And I'm going to, okay, I have to do this on my side. Sorry guys, I know it's upside down for you. Okay, working with glue, Meg, you can't talk. I'm gonna pop this on here. There we go. And wait a minute for the glue that, I've put on to set. And I got glue on the front of my picture here somehow. All right, ooh, I'll use the end of my take your pick tool to pull that off. There we go. Well, okay, I'll pull it off later. All right, so we've got this at the bottom set. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip this over, and I'm going to anchor those back ends here by just popping some glue kind of on the outside. And we're gonna cover up this whole like mess on the back. So I'm not gonna worry too much about what this glue actually looks like. I just wanna keep it from getting onto the front of our ornaments. Okay, and again, just set that there. All right, and kind of trying to keep it just a little straight. Now, depending on, I don't know, I have mine, I have mine set to high. I could probably set mine to low melt. because then it cools a little faster. So you're probably wondering what we're doing with the back of this ornament. That is where the second photo that I showed you comes in. So I'm going to grab this, and I have another piece of chipboard because I want our ornament to, is this gonna stay? Yep, close, I'll hang on to it. I want our ornament to have the photos be straight. I don't want them to kind of bend to meet in the middle. And I'm going to not worry about putting the ribbon on because we're going to put the ribbon on here with the hot glue for the second part. I'll show you that. All right, so for the back of our ornament, we're gonna have this on here, and it's still very pretty. It's not my favorite coordinating ribbon now, but while we have our hot glue handy, I'm gonna go ahead and pop a bunch on here where it will be hidden by our photo, and then I'm gonna pop a big bunch of it up here to put our ribbon in and add our second photo, okay? So here, it's gonna bend just a little bit, but now when we put our ornament on the tree, we'll have a double-sided part there. And I'm just gonna check it on the front side. There we go. So that we still have kind of our part. And you wanna make sure your borders are kind of lined up there as well, okay? All right, so now let's move on to the next part of our photo ornament. We're gonna add some of that greenery. So let's see, we have this piece we could pop down here, or this piece. Oh, I kind of like that one, actually. I kind of like the direction of it. So I'm gonna pop this on, and for this, we have this nice attachment point here with this sort of solid pine cone. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some glue on there, which will be a nice hold. And then we'll come back here to our gold pine cones, which are cut from that same pine cone die set, and pop a couple of these on. And then I have, a greeting to add to this because it's kind of fun. So you might put like a photo caption on with a date or something like that if you want to add that. But let's go ahead and put a Stampin' Dimensional here under our second pine cone, just to give it some extra dimension. It's funny, I'm all about putting dimensionals on cards that are like supposed to be 2D and have to go in the mail. And then we come to a 3D thing and I'm like, oh, I've forgotten to use 3D elements. Okay, so we've got that set. And then we're gonna bring in our 'Tis the Season stamp from Christmas to Remember. And I'm gonna go ahead and stamp this one in Bermuda Bay on a little scrap of basic white cardstock. And I'm not gonna worry about getting it straight too much because we're gonna go ahead and just trim this really tight. There's not a lot of white on here, so I don't really want a lot of stark white border. So I'm just gonna trim this really close so that we have not like a lot of distraction of big white space. So, all right. So there we have that. And then this is just going to finish off. I don't want to cover up too much of the like main shot of our photo. So I'm going to pop a dimensional here. I think that fits. Okay. And then I'm going to pop just a little bit of multi-purpose liquid glue. Wow, my fingers are really blue. Here on the other side where it's going to contact. And then we're gonna pop this across here. Now, you know we're not finished because we need to add some bling to this. It's a little blingy already, right? But we can always add more. So I could actually decide, like I could put another pine cone here, I could put one up at the top, but I think I'm gonna leave this interest sort of with one focal point rather than confusing the issue because we already have a focal and then our elements here. But I am gonna bring in some gilded gems. Green, or the gold and the green are so pretty together. And I love the way shaded spruce is this sort of beautiful, rich color for the season. And let's see, maybe one little one because we need a third. I think I managed to, okay, so I should stop trying to pick these off and I should do the sliding thing. So, a little one. So slide and stick with your, where to go? I think out here. Slide and stick with your putty tip for your, take your pick tool, okay? So there is our photo ornaments. You can see it's double-sided. It'll hang really nicely. And I have another one that I did ahead, and this one includes a few more of the fabulous performers from their magical singing troupe. So there, you can see some more of the dresses and some of those rich colors and fabulous photography again from Matt Difanis. So thank you, Matt, for that. So if you have some special photos, think about you're adding those. Lots of people in there have some favorite photo pictures. So, or favorite photo memories. This is a great way to sort of have that to sort of have that fun experience each year when you're decorating your tree of like looking back on kind of, you know, fun things. Hey, they could make really fabulous earrings. Probably not. But anyway, a really neat addition to your tree. So think about these. I think the elements that I really love from this are the Stitch So Sweetly die cut photos that Stitch Frame really dresses up the photos, and then that sort of that fan fold at the bottom. And remember, you can custom do those for any of your colors with that paper. Just use your blending brushes and go ahead and add some of those favorite colors to your paper to make it coordinated with your photo. So, all right, guys, so that is our Wednesday. I hope you're getting ready for the holidays. This is a great holiday helper kind of treat to show. They make great gifts. You could use them as tags for your gift wrapping with my blue fingers. You could use them as tags for your gift wrapping. There, that's better. And just put them on the outside of gift bags. And I promise you that those photo tags will be just as fabulous as the gift inside, because these are a really, really special way to hang some memories. So, all right, guys, I hope you have a super fabulous Wednesday, and I will be back on Friday with another Maker Mornings with Meg. So have a great week, guys. Happy stamping.